Good afternoon.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Can you please give some details about yourself to the viewers?
My name, they call me Mable AGBODAN, and I'm Creative Director of Mille London and founder of Gallery Mille Arts in London, West Africa Director of Luxury Cultural Tourism.
Thank you very much. With Mable, we are going to talk about fine arts, shows, culture, and everything that is involved, or everybody that is involved in fine art and creative arts. Well, before we come back to studio and talk with Mable, let's have a summary of activities undertaken by key personalities of Togo. The President of the Republic for Isozimnanya Singbe took part in the inauguration of the new President of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, elected on the 10th of August this year. He was among the few African heads of states that attended this inaugural ceremony at the presidential palace in the presence of other presidents and prominent personalities. Here is the head of state for Isozimnanya Singbe on his arrival at the airport in Turkey. Mr. Erdogan, the 12th Turkish president, has been chairman of the Justice and Development Party and led the government for 12 years. He takes over from Mr. Abdullah Gül. Just after his election, he appointed President Abdullah's former Foreign Affairs Minister as Prime Minister, who took office on the eve of the inauguration. You have more details on this during our coming programs. The Togolese Prime Minister Célia Aout was in Accra, Ghana on Thursday week. This working visit was to find a concerted solution to the Ebola pandemic that has taken the lives of thousands of people in the West African sub-region. The Prime Minister, health ministers and experts from the ECOWAS examined closely the necessary ways and means of fighting this deadly disease. Célia Aout was keen about seizing from some drastic measures that will not help, those of closing borders and not allowing free movement of goods and people in the sub-region. Before leaving Lomé for Accra, Célia Aout tackled the issue with health personnel and authorities of the Lomé Harbour, measures to be taken at all levels in order to protect the Togolese population from the deadly disease Ebola. Clotilde Parisi has the report for you.
The Ebola virus continues strengthening West African countries with over 2,000 losses in human lives. The Togolese head of government, Mr. Célia Aout, also carried on looking for ways and means to face the possible sparks of this virus in the country in collaboration with the different actors involved. The latest actions carried out since the outbreak of the Ebola are the consultative meetings permanently held to review the situation and foster the existing measures. This week, he convened the heads and partners of Lomé Harbour, as well as physicians and the teaching staff of the Togolese School of Medicine. The meeting between the Prime Minister, lecturers and health professionals focused on their opinion and observations concerning the countermeasures taken by the Ebola Virus Management Commission. It was an opportunity for them to scrutinize the different control systems likely to help prevent or overcome properly and effectively the virus, which has become a serious threat not only for Africa but also the entire world. The strategy in the plan of action presented to the Togolese health professionals and medical staff is aimed at preventing the virus, acquainting the population with the countermeasures, as well as the provision of care for possible cases. Thereon, the meeting decided to involve all the actors in the assessment of the situation through and through. The Dean of Lomé University School of Medicine, Prof. Atipu Komla, pledged that students will be sensitized and sent to the population for the large dissemination of information on the matter at hand. On his part, the chairman of the Consultative Medical Commission of the Sylvanus Olympio Teaching Hospital, Prof. Balokomi, found the meeting quite useful because it enabled to refine the countermeasures in order to mitigate the scourge that is still spreading and claiming hundreds of lives. The second meeting was held with the heads and partners of Lome Harbour for the same purpose. At this level, the heads of government and the harbour managers, as well as partners, solutions to secure the harbour by all means.
100 years ago, Allied forces landed in Togo to fight the Germans who had their stronghold in Kamina, a town in the Plateau region of Togo. The last battle was held at Kra, in Wahala, in the Aout district. The British ambassador and a delegation from the UK were there this week to honor the memory of British citizens who fell under the bullets of the German army. It was at the Wahala cemetery. The British military officer leading the troops involved in the battle, killed in action, was Lieutenant George Masterman Thompson. Let's hear the interview of the British ambassador to Togo.
We're here today at the cemetery of Wahala in Togo to mark the exact 100th anniversary of the death of the first British officer to die anywhere in World War I, which did not happen in Europe. It happened here in Togo at a place called Kamina, near here. And George Masterman Thompson was the very first British officer to be killed in action anywhere during an Anglo-French raid on a then German transmitter station in Kamina. It was a short confrontation of just about 2 weeks in total, but sadly not only Lieutenant Thompson but many others died here, including a number of African soldiers, particularly from Senegal, and we honor them here today as well.
Well, I'm in studio with Mable. Mable, thank you for being in studio with us. And viewers, have just told you that I'll be discussing with Mable issues on arts. Mable, can you please introduce yourself again? What you do? What are your activities in Britain?
I'm a creative director of Mille London. Mille London is interior design company based in London. I am founder of gallery called Mille Arts, where we promote African artists.
Okay, so you just said that you promote African artists. Then what can you tell us about the place of fine art, since you said that you are an interior designer? What is the place of fine arts in your profession?
As a designer, fine art can only be part of my profession. Now saying that, art and design has a difference, but the one overlaps the other. Art is more about emotion, opinion, and taste, but the design has an element of taste.
Yeah, so we're just talking about arts, and today you are in Lome. Why are you in Lome? For your holidays or for something else?
I'm in Lome, firstly to see my family, others, and also to see in which sense and how can I get in contact with some of the artists, Togolese based, to see whether we can work together in the near future.
Yeah, so why that motivation? What motivated you to embark upon the promotion of Togolese artists, let's say African artists?
As they said, the charity begins at home.
Yeah.
Since I think that the idea of promoting art started while visiting clients, going to client houses. I find out that there is at least one piece of art, African art, in client places, and I believe is what they see the ball. And I think if they got more opportunity, or they see more of those painting or sculpture or whatever they've got, they might buy more. And I believe in back home there is a lot of talented artists which they don't have the opportunity to have their voice or someone to show their work over there.
Yeah. So let me come into it with a question to you. Let's say early this week you organized something like an exhibition in one of the restaurants in Lomé.
Yes.
So what can you tell us about the population's interest in this?
Well, it has been a great success. Firstly, I would say thank you to the restaurant owner, Chef Flo in Lomé, which where we exhibited, and until tomorrow the painting are still there.
Yeah.
The exhibition was for Max Amidi, which is a passionate painter, poet, and lawyer of profession in Paris court. People came a lot. We were not expecting that much, and I thank everyone who came that night to support us. That was the first exhibition we did in Lomé, and I'm sure we are going to do more because it was a great success.
So who are some of the artists you already met, apart from the one who did the exhibition last night?
The one exhibited last night came from Paris actually.
Yeah. So
I have some Togolese artists like Fola Lawson, which is in Dakar. I've got Papis Kokoudi, which is based in Washington. I work with Sadiku Upejo, based in Ivory Coast, but I haven't got anyone from which is based in Lomé here. But last night, since I've been here, I have met Camille Azonko, Soke Idor, Ki Koko also.
Okay, so those are some of the artists, the upcoming ones in Togo. So you stay in studio as we continue our news, the news aspect of this program.
Thank you.
Outside our borders, tension between Ukraine and Russia. What is the European Union and the United States of America? Vladimir Putin declared Russia is not involved in the crisis, but sanctions by superpowers are geared towards his regime.
Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko arrived in Brussels just a few hours before the meeting of European leaders. Europe is still trying to pressurize Moscow by calling for fresh sanctions against Russia.
We are in a very serious, I would say, dramatic situation. We may see a situation where we reach the point of no return. If the escalation of the conflict continues, this point of no return can come. I believe it's still not yet too late to find a political solution.
And it's increasingly urgent. In eastern Ukraine, the situation is worsening. Donetsk railway station was destroyed by airstrikes. Pro-Russian separatists are clinging to the city and pursuing their offensive in the south. They're just a few kilometers from Mariupol. In the strategic port, residents are digging trenches and piling sandbags to stop their advance. France has denounced Russian involvement in the conflict.
I am talking about the recent developments of which I was informed. The sound of Russian boots in eastern Ukraine must stop.
Moscow continues to deny any presence in Ukraine, and Vladimir Putin does not appear to favor dialogue.
Russia is not involved in any large-scale conflict. We do not want it. That's not our aim. Obviously, we will repel any aggression against Russia. Our partners must understand that they shouldn't mess with us, whatever their situation or their ideology.
As if to make things clearer, Mr. Putin reminded the world that Russia possesses nuclear weapons.
Mable AGBODAN, you are still in studio. Before you leave us today, one last question for you. What do you expect from African artists?
expect from African artists to stand out their own right as an artist and with a unique style.
Yeah, okay. So you want them to have a unique style.
That's it.
So when you see it somewhere, you know that,
That is African.
This is for this particular African.
That's it.
It's just like when you hear King Mensah's songs somewhere, you know that it's King Mensah.
Can only be him.
Yes. So thank you very much, Mable AGBODAN, for being in studio with us. I hope you'll be with us again. Can we call on you next time?
Yes, if you invite me, I will be greatly welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, viewers, we come to the end of today's program. I hope to be with you again next week at this particular time. Have a nice weekend.